How do you keep on top of things? And how do you keep your content fresh and updated? How do you get those ideas? Those were the messages I received from my friends and also some of my subscribers asking for how do I automate this whole process? How do I get my content ideas? So I thought I'll do a video to show you how exactly I do it. So the simple steps behind this workflow is basically it starts with a trigger at 6 a.m. every morning. After that trigger, it will go through a list of RSS articles, the links of the RSS articles. Then it will get summarized using Gemini. After that, the summaries plus the links and the headlines will get added to Airtable. I have a reason why I'm doing it with Airtable and not Google Sheets. I'll explain later. Everything is now waiting for human in the loop because I need to approve these articles before AI can generate ideas for me. I do not like AI pushing the content directly on my social media channels. I always keep telling everyone that HITL is very important. I also follow it. Now this whole thing is being orchestrated by n8n. So the workflow that I'll show you will be inside n8n. So that was the step one. Once I have approved the articles, but because these articles I can receive say 20 new news every morning, but I will not want to use every single one of them. So based on how I approve them, step 2 takes place. And in step 2, again it's trigger based on the trigger. If it's for LinkedIn, if I've tagged it that this particular article is for LinkedIn, then it will go ahead and find some more information around that particular topic. So for example, if I'm getting some new article from HubSpot and it talks about something around AEO or GEO, then I'll find a little bit more using Perplexity. And after that, I use OpenAI to create the LinkedIn content, which is now more personalized, which has some other information, not just limited to the article that I received from HubSpot. And once it's done, the whole LinkedIn content, again, it gets added to the Airtable. And if it's for YouTube, it's the same process again. I'll get all the new information, relevant ideas from Perplexity. Then I will use OpenAI to create a YouTube script. I do not read from my screen, I talk freely, but the script, the cues, it gives me an idea of what are the things that I want to talk about. And after that, again, it goes back to the Airtable. So those were the simple steps so that you know what's going to happen in the workflow before we get into the workflow. So let's jump right in. Alright, so this is the workflow that I've built, which I built about 3-4 months ago when I started pulling content, fresh content every day to think about if I want to post something around that new topic or the new news. So in this one, there are 2 steps like I told you. The first one on top is the daily news finder, and how it works is I'll go step by step, but let me just show you the overall workflow first. So it will take all the news, then it will analyze it and add it to Airtable. At the bottom, the second step, it comes after I approve the content in the Airtable if I like the idea or not. So what happens here is that it will see if I have tagged the idea as if it's good for LinkedIn or YouTube. Based on that, it will go and create the LinkedIn content idea or the YouTube cues. And the reason that I'm using Airtable instead of Google Sheets is because, first of all, it's easier to use. There are a lot more automations that you can do. And also it gives me access to this interface. This interface I can use on my mobile as well. So, I mean, it's more seamless that way because I don't have to go and open a browser or a window. If you have seen the Google Sheets within your phone and try to access it, it's just, yeah, it's just not there. And this is how it looks like in my phone. So it's much easier for me to approve certain articles, add tags, and also if I further click it, it'll give me a summary of everything that's inside this particular topic. So a summary, content ideas, and things like that. So yeah, that's my biggest reason why I'm using Airtable and not Google Sheets. So starting with the workflow, let me just go step by step like I usually do with most of my videos. And as you can see, the first step here is the trigger. The trigger which is active every day at 6 a.m. And once it gets triggered, the second step is the news source. So what I've done is that I have put an array of all the RSS feed here. As you can see, we have HubSpot, TechCrunch, Ahrefs, Adweek, AdExchanger and all. So that was a list of news articles. So if you want to add anything else, if you want to add any other RSS link here, you can just follow the same format here and just copy paste another one. So all you have to do is press comma after AdExchanger and copy paste the URL. So after that, the next step is to split out, because I have those URLs and those URLs need to be split out in individual items. So that's where I use the split out node. And once I've done that, after that, I have this extract RSS node, which will fetch everything from the URLs. And let me also just trigger the node so that you can see the data alongside. So if I trigger this one, I have one item here, which is just a trigger value, nothing else. When I execute the new source, which is the array node, these are all the array items, the five links here, all the RSS feeds that I told you about earlier, I showed you. So these are the ones that I get from the edit node. And then when I click on execute within split out, it just splits out all these URLs as individual items. Once that is done, let's just press extract RSS. So the URLs are going to come out from split out and go into this particular section. So if I execute step, let's see. So these are all the articles, blog items which were in the RSS feed. So we have 100 items. What we have to do is also to put a filter, because I need the latest news, which is last 24 hours. So what you can do is add this filter node and add this particular function. Just screenshot it, copy paste it, do whatever you want, because what it does is that it first converts the date to ISO, and then it will keep everything which is in the last 24 hours. So that's how I only get the latest news now. And like I told you that we have 100 items here, right? So we receive 100 articles from HubSpot and other sources. Let's see how many will remain after I put this filter. So let me execute. All right. So kept 41 items, discarded 59. So that means only 41 items, 41 news articles from the last 24 hours. So this is the fresh one. So we will look into our content based on this one. Now, for this demo purpose, I'm going to limit everything to just 5 articles. I don't want to spend a lot of tokens on this one because I already have an automation setup running for me. Right. So what happens here is that if I put max item as 5 and execute it, it will just keep the top 5 items here. Right. So once this is done, because we are doing a demo for 5 items, set names I do usually before loop over items, before I start creating the content using AI or the agent node. So what happens here is that within this edit node, I have put 2 things. I have kept 2 things, which is title and the link. Title is coming from json.title, which is from the last node, this title section, loop marketing for B2B. And the link again from the same node, which is the limit to 5 top articles. You can just pull this link and put it here. So you have blog HubSpot. So I have the title and the link to the article that I'm talking about, that I'm going to analyze. So if I execute this step, I should get those 5 items, but only title and link. Now, once it's done, I have the 5 items. That's where loop over items will come into play. So once you add this node, loop over items, now we are going to go through one article at a time, summarize it, add it to Airtable. So loop over items, after adding this loop over items, I need to add one another node, which is your HTTPS. So what I'm going to do is method get, I'm going to scrape this link, the link which was coming from the last source. Let me just click it. Okay, so one item, because it will be one at a time. Let's just scrape this one, blog.hubspot.com, loop marketing B2B. So if I execute this step, this is the whole scraped version of that page. However, I don't want everything that is scraping from the page. So I'm going to extract HTML content using the HTML node. So in this node, this data, the data that I'm getting from the scrape article node will go into JSON property. If it was something else, it was like, say, instead of data, it said article. So you will just put article here, JSON property. The operation here, there are multiple operations. So operation here is extract HTML content, and the source is JSON, not binary, because we are getting this particular node, this output from this node. So we keep it. And then you have to select the body, return value is text, and skip image, which is your images, navigation, href is your links and all, and css the style sheet. So I'm going to skip this and just keep the text from the body. So if I execute this, as you can see in this one, where did it go? Yeah, in this one, it's pretty long. It's got a lot of junk in there as well. The buttons and what's the color of the buttons and things like that. But once I execute this, extract HTML, it will come down to just the body text. See, it's much more refined now. It's mostly the key content of that article. So this is what I need so that I can summarize it. So once I've done that, I have received this content from the body. I'm going to use Gemini to summarize it. So I have used the Gemini node, and within the node, I'm just using this operation called messenger model. To link this account to your n8n, there is a video that I did earlier, so you can go through it. How do you link Google Cloud with n8n? After that, it'll be much more easier because then you can use most of the Google products actually. So once you are done with that, you select the model from the list. I usually prefer 2.5 flash for summarization, not for advanced tasks, but just for basic summarization all I use 2.5 flash. It's much cheaper and works well. The prompt here that I have given it, the first thing with the message is just the article for summarization. So in the first prompt, I'm giving it article, which is coming from the data here, json.data. The last node, it's here. The role is user. So it's basically a user message. In the system message, how you can get this is by clicking this add options, click systems message. It's gone because I've already selected it. Once you receive it, it's the guideline, it's the guidance for the LLM in terms of how to react, how to act when it receives any message. That's where I put all the instructions. Instructions like, you are an intelligent, helpful article summarization assistant. Your task is to take news article as an input and return a summary of the article which provides overview and highlights of the article. The context, this summary will go to the user to get an overview of latest news. Context usually is good because LM will understand what exactly you are using this process for. Tools, I have given it access to a think tool just for additional thinking. It never uses it, but I always give think tool access to most of my nodes. The output rules start directly with the summary. Don't put say, oh, here's the summary and this and that. So it adds a lot of nonsense. So I'm just trying to prevent that. Start directly with the summary. No need to add greetings or salutations. I don't want it to say hi, hello, or anything. Don't quote the source of the article. Yeah, so it doesn't have to say that HubSpot said that. Just give me the summary of the article, what exactly is going on, because I already have received the title and the link and everything. I know where it's coming from. Then the third output rule, provide 4 to 6 bullet points as summary. I just need some bullet points so that I know what exactly is going on, and don't add any additional context or content. So don't come up with your own ideas. Just give me the summary exactly from the article. So that's a simple instruction that I have given it. So when I execute it, all right, so I had received 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet points. Loop marketing, it addresses AI plays a crucial role unlike traditional funnels and this and that. Okay, so this is my output from Gemini. All right, so the summary that I just received. Now the next thing that I have to do is look for the records. Within Airtable, there is a good chance that there is duplicate content. Like for example, I run this at 7. What if I want to run this workflow again at around say 3 p.m.? There will be duplicate stuff because the content, it will fetch last 24 hours content. It might fetch the same content again. If it's already in my Airtable, I do not want duplicate content there. So I'm just searching the records to see if there is any duplicate content. And how it works is that inside this particular node, the Airtable, what I'm doing is a search operation. All right. And then I have a list, which is your daily news finder, which is the name of the base, right? News digest. And from the list, database. So within the base, which is daily news finder, I have a table which is called database. So that's where it will work. To connect Airtable, it's not that complicated. You click on create new credential, and after that, all you have to do is just get this access token. How you can do that is by clicking this open docs. It'll give you the links for the Airtable, and down here it'll give you go to Airtable Builder Hub, click this link. Yeah, so just click on this link and then basically go and create a new key. It's very straightforward, very simple. Just give it access to all the data that you have. All right, so once you have done that, come back. It will show here the new connection that you have just established. So after that, what you have to do is that you have to filter by formula, because we are getting a title, right? So title from loop over items. So if you go back to loop over items, the title here, now this one in the Airtable, if I go back to the data, in the table, I have a column called title. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Right, so I have this column called title. So it's going to match this. So if it was something else, you just replace it with that. So it's going to match the title there, find the titles there, and match it with loop marketing for B2B. All right. In the output fields here is again title. That's it. So if I execute this one, okay, it did not find anything. So what happens is there are two things, success and error. In the settings, you have to put always output data, right? Once you do that, it will give you success and error. So after it's returned the data, what we have to do is we have to see if it exists or not. So I'm going to put an if node here, and within if this JSON ID, if it exists, then it will give us true, else it's false. You will not see anything here because right now it's not receiving anything. The record does not exist. So you will have to press execute anyway just to see. All right. So if I press execute, all right. So what happened is that after execution, it returned a false branch. It was not true. It was supposed to be true if the item exists, if the table already had that article. If not, then it was supposed to go to false branch. So it works perfectly. And based on that, I have created two conditions. If it's true, I mean, if the data, if it exists, if it's already there in Airtable, it will skip the whole thing and go back to loop over items. It will not add data, another record to Airtable. If it's false, the data does not exist, then it will proceed with adding the data. When it comes to adding the data, like for example here, there are multiple columns here. So you need to create this table in advance based on what exactly do you want to collect. In my case, I have created all these columns. So for example, I have title, which is a single line text. Then I have status, which is approved, not approved, or under review. Link, which is a URL, which is a button. So it's a little confusing. So in the link column, I get the URL from the article. Then I have another column called URL, which is converting the link, the URL, to a button, a clickable button. Then I have a created time, a time when the new record was updated. Platform basically means it's a single select option for LinkedIn or YouTube. I work on two channels, so I select if I want this content to be for LinkedIn or for YouTube, because my next step, the next workflow will be based on this particular step. Then I have summary. Summary is what we just created from Gemini. Content created, single select, which is yes, no, if the content has been created or not, because that we will use as a filter. Content tags, multiple select, these are optional. I use it for myself because I have multiple themes within my YouTube channel. So if I am trying to put a theme around this particular content, then I select this. And then we have the content type, which is long form, short form, text, column. So again, optional. It's for me personally. So I use it this way. You can use it however you want. The article is the whole article, because we have already scraped it. I'm just going to store it in Airtable as well, is the whole article. Then LinkedIn queues and YouTube queues, which is your long text, which basically means once the next step, the content creation is done, this is where it will store the whole content or the queues. So what you have to do is that after you have created that table with all the columns that you need, you add this Airtable node. Within the node, once you find that base, which for me, in my case, is called Daily News Finder, and within that, the table name is called database. So it will appear here. Then go select map each column manually. ID, it will automatically match against ID. So it will fetch all the columns. But in this particular step, I'm just going to update these columns, which is your title, so that I can add loop marketing for B2B, status. Whenever I am processing a new content, a new news article, by default, I set it as under review. It could be approved or rejected, but that is for me to do that later on as a part of HITL, human in the loop. Then I have the link. Content created is no for now because the content has not been created. If it was, then I will select yes. And then the summary, which I'm getting from the Gemini node, and the article, the whole raw article that I scraped and then converted using HTML node. So just these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So just these 6 columns is what I am going to feed into Airtable in this particular step. So if I just execute it, so you know what, let me just do a quick run because till now it's just fetching one item at a time. So I'm just going to execute the whole workflow at once. All right, so I pressed execute and now it will execute all 5 items one at a time. So the first one is done. It's adding it to Airtable. Now it's going through the second one. Again, it will add it to the Airtable. Let me go back to Airtable and see if something is happening here. Okay, let me just refresh it quickly. All right, so it's getting all this data under review. So these are the new pieces that I'm fetching now. This one is from yesterday when I was creating this demo. And yeah, it's fetching the summary and the article. If I go ahead and click on interfaces, I can show you how it looks like now. All right, this is the interface that I was showing you earlier. In this one, we have the created time, title, the URL, the button that it auto-converted to a clickable link. If I click on this one, it will just open the website for me so that I can read the whole content on the website itself. And after that, it has this status, which is approved, rejected. It's already approved. I approved it yesterday for the test. Content tags, these are optional. This is for my own purpose. It does not affect the overall workflow for you. It doesn't do anything there, so it's optional. So even if you leave it blank, it won't matter. Content created, if the content has been created, then it automatically updates to yes. So for example, this new one, if I click on loop marketing for B2B, a side panel opens up and there you can see the summary, which was created by Gemini. Article link, content tags, whatever I want to put there. Let's see, just FYI, content type, weekly news. A status is under review, and then there's nothing in terms of the content for YouTube and LinkedIn. But if I want that I want some article now, right? So I need to press approved here, right? Oh, one thing is missing. Where is that? LinkedIn and YouTube. Okay, so what you can do is, if you cannot see LinkedIn or YouTube, you go back to edit pages here, and because you cannot see LinkedIn, YouTube, because I need to tag it as per if I want it for LinkedIn or YouTube, you click here and on the right you will see 7 visible, right? So if I go down, for example, 7 visible. Oh, it's hiding behind my bubble. Give me a second. All right, so now you can see it. So if you go down, it's showing me, where is it? Platform, right? This is where I select if it's for LinkedIn or YouTube. I just click on show, close it, and one more second. Platform should go up. So if I drag it here, so right after status, it will show me the platform, right? And I click on publish. So that was a quick tutorial on how you can edit your interface as well. So now, yes, I approved this B2B content. I just make it for LinkedIn, as simple as that. Let's not do YouTube. For another one, let's say, which one should we do for YouTube? 0-day hack. What is this about? Android spyware. Yeah, we can do a video around this one. So for example, the second one, which this article, which is your landfall spyware and how it hacked Samsung Galaxy phones. If I just approve it and make it for YouTube content, I'll just leave it for now. So right now it shows you that the content has not been created, right? No. So this is where we'll need to go and execute the second step of our workflow, right? So because we have collected the 5 articles, summarize them. So that was our daily news finder workflow. The second one is based on if it was for LinkedIn or YouTube, I create 2 more workflows. Now to give you an idea, what happens here is that first of all, it's again trigger based. You can have multiple triggers, multiple ways you can trigger this content. I'm just keeping it based on time. So the first thing is it will fetch approved content. So you add this node and will search for the database which is within daily news finder, and then I filter it by formula. And is the operator here, and then status is approved. Also content created should be no. So for example, if I approve something here, right, and the content has been created, so it will just tag it here that content has been created, yes. If I just don't remove this status, it will start generating content for the content which is already created. You get my point? So the status, if it stays as approved, it might create new content, duplicate content for the old pieces that I approved. So I added this one, content created yes, so that I can have a filter here which says content created should be no, which we kept as default in the step 1. So these are the 2 filters that I'm doing. So approved and no, and return everything. So if I execute this step, so it found 2 items, right? Because here we have just approved these 2. So these 2 are approved and no. That's why it rejected these 2, because the content created is yes here, right? So it just fetched these 2 content pieces. Now what happens is based on these 2 outputs, I have a switch node. In the switch node, the JSON.platform, which is coming from, if I go down, where is it? Here, which is coming from this, right? This platform YouTube. So if the platform is LinkedIn or if the platform is YouTube, it will switch it. So if it's LinkedIn, it goes to LinkedIn content. If it's YouTube, it goes to YouTube queues, 2 different workflows. Within these workflows, then there are 2 things which are happening. One is it will look for Perplexity. It will look into Perplexity. It will use Perplexity to look for content, more news or information around the content itself. Once it has fetched the data from Perplexity, it will give it to another agent node, which will create the content either for LinkedIn or at the bottom for YouTube. 2 different prompts, 2 different instructions that I have given these 2 workflows here. I'll show you in a bit. So if I execute switch here, right, so it has 1 item each, one for LinkedIn and one for YouTube. So if it was multiple items, then yes, loop over items is important. But for single item, you can do it without loop over. But what if you have multiple items? That's why I kept this loop over items. So once I am in loop over item, let's start with the LinkedIn one first. All right. So it fetched this particular content piece, which was the loop marketing is a B2B strategy, that article from HubSpot. So this I will use for LinkedIn, the other one for YouTube. Now what the first agent will do is the instructions here. First of all, in this agent, you can see I have given it access to OpenAI. Within OpenAI, I'm using 4.1 mini. If you don't know how to connect OpenAI here, it's very straightforward, because all you have to do is add your API key. I have uploaded multiple videos where I've explained how you can do that. It's very straightforward. Go to your platform account of OpenAI, get the key, add it there. The other thing that I've done is I gave it an access to this tool called Perplexity. Within Perplexity, I have set everything as automatic. Whatever the messages are being defined by the AI agent, the agent node that we used. Perplexity account, just like OpenAI, all you have to do is get the API from there. Messenger model, I'm using Sonar, as simple as that. and that's it. I'm not doing too much customization here. I'm just keeping it very simple for you, right? So what it will do is, first, you are an intelligent, helpful, original LinkedIn content researcher, and then the article, the original article, everything I'm giving it, right? You can give it summary as well, but it might miss out on something. Now, in the system message, this prompt says that you are a researcher. Your task is to use Perplexity tool, the tool that we connected, to research the topics, right? And then give us 3 unique points. And I've given it context as well, that I'm going to use these 3 unique points so that the next node can use these 3 unique points to create some unique content. And then strict output rules, which is just a summary of 3 unique things. Rules: always use Perplexity LinkedIn tool so that it doesn't produce something on its own. It has to use Perplexity so that the information that I receive is live from the internet. And then always output based on your research using Perplexity LinkedIn tool, exactly what I was talking about. Do not use references, citations. Write it as if it's your original idea. Yeah, limit your output to just 3 unique points. So I have iterated 3 unique points and using Perplexity LinkedIn tool multiple times so that it doesn't hallucinate. And just as simple as that. So if I execute this one, it's using Perplexity LinkedIn tool because I told it like multiple times, always use Perplexity LinkedIn tool. All right, so it did its research using Perplexity, and there was one item which it returned, which is, where is it? The key challenges, the 3 things that it returned. If I put it in the table mode, the first point, the second point is here, and the third point is here. So it gave me 3 different ideas, unique ideas around the same topic. So B2B loop marketing, because HubSpot has an idea, but what if there are other sources which can give me something additional, right? So I received those 3 unique points. Now it goes to the LinkedIn post creator. I'm using Gemini here because for when it comes to content creation, I believe, I have a feeling, I have this experience with Gemini, with that Gemini is much better than OpenAI, right? So the model here, I've given it access to 2.5 Flash, and within this one, there are no tools or anything here. Just a simple instruction that you are an intelligent, helpful, original LinkedIn content creator. Please write a LinkedIn post using ideas from this content. All right. So this idea now, where is it coming from? It's coming from the summary that we got earlier from the Gemini in the first workflow. So that's the summary I'm giving this particular agent. And on top of it, there is a system instruction. Again, in the system instruction, the task is there to rewrite a LinkedIn post. And here I'm also giving it the 3 things that we received from Perplexity, right? The JSON output from the last node. Strict rules, yeah, catchy start, your thoughts, CTA, and all those things. Do not quote sources, the author. Do not use citations. Rules are that bullet points. Do not use emojis. Conversational casual. And don't use phrases like it's like this, it's that, and it's not something, it's something else. You know, that those are some of the content giveaways when the content is written by AI. So some instructions that I have given it so that the content that it produces is based on how I want it. Even though I will modify the content before I post it on LinkedIn, but yeah, at least the cues will be close to my tone, right? So if I just execute this step, okay, so this is the output. This is the thing that I can use to post on LinkedIn. I will not evaluate it here because I already have an Airtable interface. So we will do it there. So what I will do next is that once I have received the post, I need to add it to Airtable. The same steps as the last workflow. The only thing that I need to change is that first of all, the ID. The ID you don't have to create. Airtable creates it by itself. So every single table content, the item inside the table, the rows, it will give a unique ID to those. So you just match it with that ID. Then update that content created as yes. Remember this one, this particular column. So it will update this as yes. And then LinkedIn queues, the one that we have here, this column LinkedIn queues, this is where it will add the output from the last node, which is the content itself. And if I execute it, we'll see in the interface if it's working for us or not. All right, so seems like it has added it to the interface. Let's just go back to interface and see. Okay, so this is the interface and now it's updated to yes, this particular thing. And if I click on it, the side panel will open up and now I have the whole LinkedIn queue. Remember the good old days of marketing funnels, you know, that beautiful linear path where customers gracefully entered the top and magically converted at the bottom, this, and then you have secret sauce, companies, non-linear. So you see, it's not using a lot of those M dashes and emojis and things like that because I gave it those instructions. So basically, yeah, this is the content. I usually tweak it a little bit. I personalize it further. That's exactly what I keep telling everyone in my videos, that always use AI to assist you, but personalize. Right. So this was for the LinkedIn, right? So everything is done here. The interface, it looks amazing. Even on my mobile phone, the app, it looks great. And after that, we'll just have to go back and see what will happen with the YouTube script writer. So I do the same process here, loop over item, start, okay, Perplexity for YouTube. Similar instructions, because research stays the same. Even if it's for YouTube, the research is the same. The only thing that changed here is that in the system instruction, I have told it that search Perplexity YouTube tool. Earlier it was Perplexity LinkedIn tool. I renamed it like that. You should also rename your tools whenever necessary, especially the tools if it's supposed to use. So Perplexity YouTube tool. So 1, 2, 3 everywhere. I'm telling it just to use the Perplexity YouTube tool. Otherwise, it's the same thing for this one. The next one has different instructions, but for Perplexity search, it's the same instructions as LinkedIn. So let's just execute this one and see. All right, so we have output now, which is again the 3 bullet points, which is going to talk about the 0-day vulnerability, and especially because of landfall spyware. So it researched around landfall spyware and wherever it's happening, Stealth Falcon, Middle East, and things like that. Okay, so these are the 3 unique things that it found using the internet. Now in the YouTube queue generator, same model setup. I am using Gemini, and here again in the same way I'm giving it the summary. Along with the summary, in the system message, I have changed it a little bit because now I'm telling it that it's an YouTube video script writer. Right? Your task is to take the article summary provided and rewrite a YouTube script based on that topic. Then there is a summary and the strict output rules. Write a well-structured YouTube video script, a catchy start, your thoughts, a CTA, and do not start the script with something like, here's a script for you, or okay, here's a YouTube script draft based on because this kind of nonsense, it keeps adding to anything it produces. So I just tell it, don't do that. Stick to the script rules. Use bullet points if needed because it's a script, but I need those cues. Create the script as if it is your original content. Do not use emojis. Script length should be for a minimum of 5 minutes video duration. Use conversational, casual, friendly tone. Objective is to generate high engagement on YouTube. Don't use phrases like, it's not this, it's that. So those are the instructions. You can improve it further as well. Up to you. Totally up to you actually how you want to do it. So let's just execute this one and see. All right. So it has produced the whole script for a 5-minute long video. You know what? You can do it for Instagram or any other channel. It's just that these 2 channels are the one that I work on, LinkedIn and YouTube. So that's where my content is usually around that. So I'm not going to read through the whole script because we have an interface to check that. What we have to do is now go to Airtable, add this. Same steps as LinkedIn. The only thing that has changed is this output from the last agent, AI agent, is going to YouTube queues column now. Last time it was going to the LinkedIn one. This time it's going to YouTube queues. As simple as that. So we just execute it and see the interface and check the interface. Okay, it didn't take too long because now we have the whole queue here. And all we have to do is now check the interface. All right. So as you can see, I did not have to refresh it. It was already updated. Now the content is created for these two as well. Yes, yes. So next time if I approve any of these, it will ignore these four. So if I click on the article itself, this is my whole script. All right, buckle up Samsung users, because if you thought your shiny Google Galaxy phone was your personal private fortress, well, I've got some news that might make you want to wrap it in tin foil. Great. Okay, this is not my tone, but the thing is, like I told you, I don't use these scripts to just read out of them. I go free flow with my YouTube videos. But yeah, it gives me an idea of what are the things that I can talk about, what are the things I need to touch base. So yeah, it helps. I just don't read it exactly as it is because, yeah, well, this is not my tone. In any case, so this is how it works. You have the whole script now, the interface, and you can check it from your phone as well. Tweak it, make it a little better, make it a little more like yourself, make it more sound like yourself. So yeah, things like that. So like I said, it's limited to YouTube and LinkedIn. You can also make it Instagram. When it comes to the content, the images and the video and things like that, people can use VO3. There are tutorials that I've done where you can create those content using VO3 or Nano. For me personally, I use Canva to create those images because I like doing that actually, because it's more personalized. It's more me, the way I want it, not AI. Similarly with video, because I use my own face in all my videos, I don't use video generators to just do the whole video as well. Yeah, I just don't like it personally. So these are all the things that we did in this workflow, and this is exactly how I get my latest content and get ideas so that I can produce more of these YouTube pieces as well. However, I do not use it for tutorials like this. It's usually for the thought leadership that I do. The docu-series, the investigations, those are usually those ideas, they come from this workflow. But when it comes to tutorials, this is just something that I create by my own, and then yeah, I just walk you through everything. I'm going to give you the JSON file for this whole workflow. It will be in the comments. It's a link to a Google Docs file. So if you want to use it like that, sure, just download the whole JSON, upload it in your own n8n instance, and yeah, you'll be able to use it. Just have to update all your APIs and connect your Airtable and things. So I hope I helped you figure out a little bit around how do you get latest content from these news sources, the RSS links, so that you can stay on top of things, create something new, some content. Even if you're not creating a new content, this can help you stay updated. I mean, it's good for a quick morning read. If you have that interface, the Airtable app, you can just scroll through it, look at like 15 to 20 articles in the morning. It triggers at 6, you wake up at 7, 8, and you go through the whole list. You don't have to scrape through all the publications out there. So it helps like that as well. Not everything that I get from this workflow, I use it for content creation. A lot of times, 80 to 90% of the times, it's just for my own information. I do not use it to create any content. I just keep it there because I want to read about it. I want to know what's going on in the world. I mean, you can use it like that as well. So if you like this video, please go ahead, give me a like, subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos. I do tutorials and I also do thought leadership around AI marketing and automations. And feel free to share this with anyone that you think might want to know about this one. So I'll see you in our next video. Have a great day. Cheers.